Hey, it's Eli, hey Atlas, and since it's always fun to open up the yearbook and reminisce on the old fashions and terrible hairstyles, today I'm going to be comparing some goals from my youth to my current achievements, however big or small. And we're going to see how things stack up. Why? Because it's generally cool to have an attitude of gratitude. And how does one get that? Sometimes you gotta see if you did what you said you would. So did I hit all my marks? Find out after the jump. So most days I wake up and tell whoever is closest to me about how much I love my job. No exaggeration. But on one particular day in the shower after seeing my work in print over an iPhone screen, I stopped to consider,
whoa, I'm really in print.
This realization came after being in print for some years now actually. Because I've had work printed before, but on this particular day I actually stopped to consider I achieved something that I technically did think I was going to do when I was mad young, but actually doing it happened so differently than I'd imagined, I kind of overlooked the reality of it when it happened. When I was growing up, I always wanted to draw like the artist I was seeing in my favorite comics. And while I eventually dedicated a certain chunk of time in my life to pursuing the goal, again, actually achieving it, or at least a portion of it, to where I've gotten acknowledgement from industry professionals, is pretty surreal. It wasn't easy by any means, but technically speaking, it happened a lot faster than I thought it would have. And yet, it still took longer than I imagined. Guess that's life. Last year at Thanksgiving, the first one I spent at a friend's place and not hosting with my family, everyone went around the table talking about the highlights of the year, and of course it came to my turn. When you're on the spot with no prepared speeches, everything you want to say typically comes to you after you need to say it. But that night, it put something into perspective that I guess I'd never thought about. I'm actually able to take a shot every time I say actually in this video, by the way, to make a decent livable wage off doing something I really actually enjoy. And while that's something that I've never taken for granted, it is something that I realized a great many of my peers cannot say, unfortunately. Super grateful. And that concludes this top 3 checklist of childhood goals that I have been able to fulfill that actually kind of went under the radar until the aforementioned events happened. Now, I should say, I didn't make this list to brag or anything because I really feel like I haven't done the impossible or anything like that, and that you guys can totally do the same things, if not better, if you want to. Life comes at you so fast, you don't realize you're hitting milestones in real time until you look back in hindsight. Then that's when you make videos like this. That about wraps it up for this week's video. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and share if you like this video. Keyword for this year is share, share, share. Let me know what you guys think. Have you had similar experiences where things have been put into perspective and you realize you actually have a lot going on for you right now, or at whatever time? Let's get a discussion going in the comments below. I'd like to hear back from you guys as always. Make sure you leave suggestions for next week's video as well, or a video in the future. I always get back to everyone and make a video on anything you guys want. Sometimes we all need a little note to self now and then, and I happen to get them every now and then, and again, super grateful. So hopefully things will just continue to be on the upswing. It's a lot of hard work, you know, and you can't leave anything to chance necessarily. Maybe some things, but not everything. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's pretty short this week, but hopefully you guys got something out of it. A little chance to reflect maybe on some of the achievements, some of the things that you still wish you would do, some things you still have time for, maybe some things that you passed up. Let's get a discussion going, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune in next Monday, next Friday, new videos twice a week. I will see you guys later.